Hi, and welcome to the Saturday Night Sleepover podcast. I'm your host, Charli, and I started this podcast because I'm good at two things. One, making friends, and two, telling stories. So you get to participate in that by listening. Welcome to the Sleepover. It's Saturday night. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Sleepover. I'm your host, Charli, and today we're joined with my longtime friend, Jessica. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi!
How are you doing?
So good. I'm actually here with video this time. I think last time we just did audio, so this is exciting.
I know. I'm moving up in the podcasting world. Jessica did come onto the show probably a year ago, you think?
I have no idea. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like before your book was published.
Which isn't saying much because that was only published a few months ago.
But I feel like it's been such a long time coming that like it feels like it took such a long time for it to get published that now it's like it's here. So like it also is like we're all excited for you and stuff.
It did take a long time. That is a fact.
How long have you been working on it?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years, which to be fair, within that 5 years, I did write and publish another book, and I did get married and moved to a completely different state and was working a full-time job and like life, you know. So, I mean, there was kind of a lot going on in that 5 years. So the next one should not take that long.
I feel like is not that long when it takes to write a book, because like I feel like it would take me it has taken me much longer than that just to even like come up with an outline for a potential book.
And this one, I think part of the learning curve is I switched from nonfiction to fiction. Like nonfiction, I could usually spit out pretty quick because I'm just like, okay, this is what I want to talk about. Here's my outline, you know, and then just kind of expand on it. Like nonfiction was super easy to go into fiction and to try and figure out like character arcs. And it's a historical fiction. So I had to do a bunch of research. Like, did they have this then? What was this like then? What foods were available? Like, I learned all sorts of weird history.
Mm-hmm. Which is like perfectly right up your alley too.
I know, it's so much fun.
Talk about your book. Tell me about, well, tell everybody who listens, like what it's about and why it's important to you, because I know why it's important to you, but I think other people would need to hear it too.
So my book is called Madame, Madamn, because it is about the first recorded case of Tourette syndrome. She was a French countess in like Jane Austen time period, right? Very proper, very, you know, etiquette focused. She had the swearing form of Tourette's, hence the title being Madame. Mm-hmm. But I also have Tourette syndrome. And so this woman, ever since I learned about her, like they knew nothing about her except that she was basically what I said. And I'm like, well, that alone sounds like the premise for a good story, you know? But like, they didn't even know her name. Like she was M. Dampierre in medical journals. A French noblewoman. They didn't even know like what nobility rank she was with the swearing form of Tourette's. That's it for almost 200 years. Wow. Like history basically tried to erase this woman because they told her to be quiet and she couldn't. But at the same time, she is the reason that we now have a diagnosis for Tourette syndrome, because she's the reason that they went, oh, maybe we should take this seriously. Because it's not just bad manners or bad breeding. She can act like a perfect noblewoman and then every once in a while yell out effing pig. Which was an actual tick of hers. I love that.
That's awesome. So what years did she live then?
She was born in 1800 and lived until 1884, and Tourette syndrome became an official diagnosis in 1885.
Oh, wow.
So she never actually knew what happened.
Oh, that's actually kind of sad.
I know, right?
Did you do enough research to see if she met anybody else that was like her?
I didn't find any record of it. It seems like she might have just not been terribly concerned about it, though. She saw one doctor that's on record in 1825. And it was from those medical records from that visit that the doctor, 60 years, a different doctor 60 years later was able to create a diagnosis, combining her with other cases that had started being recorded after that time period.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as we know, no, I don't think she did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad, actually.
But my favorite part is that she never hid. Like, despite all of this, even today, people with Tourette syndrome get like super embarrassed and want to like hide and, suppress their tics until they, have a tic attack later type of a thing. But she never did. Like, we have records of her in church services yelling, "That's enough, Father. Shut up, Father." Like, she still went to the opera. She still went out. She still lived her life. She didn't care, which I love, which is another reason why I'm like, this woman's story needs to be told. We need her example, Yeah. So she had a quirk, but it didn't seem to bother her. It didn't seem to bother anyone. I mean, they might have been bothered, but she didn't care if it bothered them. Perks of being noble, nobility didn't really care if they bothered anyone else.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I think about it like when you grow up in your house and your family does certain things, like until you realize that other families don't do those things, you don't realize that it's weird or different.
Basically.
And so I feel like maybe that might have been her experience, is like, just because she never knew anybody to tell her otherwise.
Well, except like everybody else in her family.
Yeah. Maybe.
So that kind of happens, but still, like, at the same time, especially as she got older, she didn't seem to care. And I love that, because that's kind of been my experience, but also I developed my tics later in life, as opposed to most people who develop them, in elementary school and are told, stop being so disruptive. You're a bad kid, knock it off. And I was a senior in high school going, oh, I think that was a hiccup. I couldn't have control over that. I'm sorry. Very different experiences. So I never found a reason to hide or be embarrassed by them, because for me, for a long time, they were just a bodily function. I started making noises my senior year of high school. I got diagnosed at 24 years old. But at the same time, it never was a problem for me. And I think that's part of the reason why I felt so connected to this woman. Like, hey, she didn't hide either. We both didn't have a problem with this. It was just who we are and part of what we do.
Yeah. Well, I feel like for people who haven't made it all the way back to Jessica's other episode, we I was like in your life at the time that you were being diagnosed.
You were.
Probably. And so when you came, like, because we've been friends for forever and a day. So like, I feel like when that became a part of your life, like, it was just like a magical time when we had so much support to like be whatever you are, pretty much, in some ways. In other ways, no. But
well, I think that was in part also just because, because I had people like you in my life. I still was like, we think about that one time at the family dinner party where some guy was on the piano trying to impress everybody, and I kept squeaking and trying to sing along, and he's like, "Stop that!" And I did get a little like red in the face and unsure what to do, but without missing a beat, you were in there. She can't. What, does she have Tourette's or something? Yes. And then I could laugh at the situation because I didn't have any part of it. But like, had I been left to my own devices, like, because it was still new to me too. It was still just like, at that point they definitely weren't hiccups. So like, I couldn't say, sorry, it was a hiccup, but I knew I couldn't stop it. But like, it was awkward.
I also feel like at that time you were also still like in your shy face. Like you hadn't like come out of your shell so much. And so I could see how like having something so out of the ordinary happening to someone who is so shy And I just like couldn't let you like figure it out on your own. I was like, I must defend her.
Which I appreciate. And I feel like that actually happened a lot when we were in college. And as this was like a new process and for me to like wrap my brain around type of a thing, I had that happen to me fairly often, which I absolutely loved. I loved knowing that the people I was around had my back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was fun too. So I feel like it was also like it just came, I don't know. I think about those days when we first started being friends, and I just think about it being like a magical time when you could be what you were, and laying down a foundation like that when you're in like a young adult coming of age kind of situation. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that probably formed the way we all moved about the world, and there she is. Hi.
Follow me for appearance.
Welcome to the show, Paula.
Fantastic.
Yes. So it also showed Paula how to be out in the world too.
Yes. Not that she ever had any care or concern about that, obviously. But that was kind of like the other great thing about it, especially for the time period that I did kind of develop and kind of grow into this. Because even when before I met you, like I was even more shy. Like by the time I met you, I was actually fairly outgoing compared to how I was before. But because I had to start speaking up for myself, oh, I'm sorry, that was, a hiccup, I think. Paula taught me how to talk and interact with people because I did not have that skill before at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's come a long way.
Yes. I mean, I've seen it because we've just been like, I feel like you're the kind of friend that you've been in and out of my life in like so many different ways. Like we went to college together and that's when we first met. And then like randomly after college, we were not from this place, but we both moved to the same city and lived down the street from each other. And then like that happened again, like 5 years later. um So I just feel like, and then like happening to be in the same friend circle as your husband, and like we could tell that story.
Yes, please.
Let's go.
Because
So
Charli
let's do
introduced me
Jessica's
to my
love
husband.
story.
And Charli introduced me to my husband.
Yes. So I guess I could start how I met Eric.
Yes.
I met Eric because we both were in a play, and so actually this is quite timely because Wicked 2 just came out, and my whole entire feed is full of it. But Eric and I were in Wizard of Oz together, and we were just like Emerald City people, I think.
But you were husband and wife in the play, though, right?
Yeah. He was like my fake husband for that play. But the only reason why I was in that play is because I needed to be have one more credit to be able to stay in the dorm. So I applied to go for the play.
I did not know that detail.
Yeah. So actually, I needed 2 credits, but the play was only 1 credit. And so like I got into the play and then I like begged the director of the play. I was like, "Can you please fill out this form? I will build the sets. I will do whatever you need me to do. But I just need 1 more credit so I don't get kicked out of my dorm." And that man is the real like homie of all homies because he didn't even make me do anything extra. He just signed the paper and let me stay in the dorm. So props to that guy. But anyway, so I just had like 3 lines in this whole play and I got to be a part of the experience. But then Eric didn't go to school with us. He was just a community person that wanted to be in the play. And so I knew Jessica. I think, did we meet at Latino Club?
I think we did. I think that's where we initially met. And
Either
because
that
we were always like, we nicknamed everybody based on their dance styles. We were always like watching people and like teaching the white kids how to dance so they could actually dance with the Latinos. And then both somehow wound up in the Latino club presidency, even though we're both white.
Yeah. I just
White
talked to
AF.
somebody about this because I was at work and this dude was playing like music that we used to dance to back in like 2010, and he had it like bumping on his stage, and I just like popped open the curtain and I was like, "Hey, 2010 called they want their bachata song back." He's like, "What do you know about 2010 bachata music?" I was like, actually,
Let me just tell you.
I have this dance partner named Jessica. We've been dance partners for a really long time.
We were. So
anyway, so that's how I met Jessica's husband. And then I invited him to Latino Club to dance
and
with
because
us.
you know what we did was teach the white kids how to dance. I don't know why you didn't teach him how to dance, but I wound up teaching him how to dance. But we very quickly somehow became like best friends, and everybody thought we were dating, which is fair. Like, we like to snuggle during movies even though we weren't dating. Everybody thought we were. He would, pick me up, walk me to Latino Club every week so that we could dance, and we'd dance with other people. And then when we were ready to go, we would walk home together. Like, It just became a thing. Like, I would hang out with him and his dad because his dad was there at the same time. But at the same time, we decided that it was not actually a good idea to date, despite everybody saying, you should date, you should date, you should date. Why aren't you
And
dating?
it was kind of a fluke that he was in Hawaii in the first place because he was just like a paid contractor, right?
He was born in Hawaii.
What?
He was born in Laie.
Oh, I thought he was from Wyoming and just became like a contractor for the summer or something like that.
So Eric's got a fun story himself. So Eric was actually born in Hawaii. He was born in Laie. His parents both attended what was then Church College of Hawaii. So he was born in Templeview Apartments, despite none of his family actually being members of the church. So that was entertaining. But when he was 7, his mom is from Wyoming, and her parents had both died about that time. So they moved to Wyoming because she bought out her siblings and they got the house. So he's lived in Wyoming since he was 7 years old, but he still has family over there. He's got a couple of aunties that still live over there. Plenty of friends that he will go see, which, yes, he will go over periodically to do work if there's work. Because, I mean, he paints houses for a living. And in Wyoming, when there's snow and it's way too cold, you can't do any of that. So it makes more sense to go to Hawaii, where you've got friends, you've got family. The weather is perfect year round for doing exterior painting. So it's not a fluke. He's done that many times in his life. He's spent several years, like the first 7 years of his life, the year that we were there. And then I think there was another year, like after we had both graduated college, that he was there too. Like, that's actually where he proposed to me. He was over there just house sitting for a friend and trying to do some paint work. And I went over to visit him because it had been so long since I'd been to Hawaii, that he proposed over there at one of our old haunts. So
Aww, that's cute. I didn't know that.
Yes. So it's a really cute story.
Yeah. It's like you guys almost took breaks from being.
We took about a decade break. There was only one break, but it was about a decade long.
But so here's the thing is, I think that even my like 22-year-old, or I guess I was younger than that, my like 20-year-old brain was like, those two are gonna fall in love. I could tell. And so I think that's why I made you teach him how to dance. And then I just kept expecting you guys to be dating before too long. And then you never did. And then over that 10-year break, I kept seeing you guys like talk to each other on Facebook. And I was like, can they just be in love already?
Yes, we are now in love already.
Did.
We both had a bit of growing up to do. I mean, and Eric and I have discussed this many times. Like, he just needed to, kind of grow up. He grew up in a very, lenient, almost no rules household. I mean, he was exposed to something like, you watch this as a child. So he just had some maturing to do, which is typical with men in general. Like they just typically take a little longer to mature.
You're typical.
I was not expecting that. Oh.
Hi, Eric.
Oh my gosh, that man. But like I had some growing up I had to do too. Like it wasn't just him. Like I think around the time that we were hanging out, I'd only ever had one boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just had not dated and I needed more dating experience.
There.
You know. So, I mean, we both had to take time to figure stuff out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, well, I mean, I also feel like being in an environment, like, because we both, like, the school we went to was BYU Hawaii, and so I feel like inherently by going to school at BYU Hawaii, you're a grown up, but you like still have a curfew and like can't do anything. So it takes like a while after school to like fully learn all the things that most people learn when they get kicked out of the house, you know?
which is
I don't
funny.
know. How do you feel about that?
I didn't have the same experience. I never lived in a dorm, period. No dorms. I started out going to this junior college where I, had off-campus housing, so I never had a dorm or a curfew. Same thing in Hawaii. Like I did not stay in the dorms. I was in a house, and so I still didn't technically have any rules. But I was also the kid that like followed rules a little too well. Like I was the kid that my senior year, I was taking 9 classes when my high school offered 8, and my mom was like, will you please just ditch one day of school? It's senior ditch day. Please just don't go. And I think I still did go, but I spent the entire day like in the quilting room or something. Because I was that kid. I was the kid that was grounded from books. It's not like if there was a curfew, sure. But like I needed the opposite experience to grow up. But it took me a long time.
Yeah, it took me a while after college to like figure out like life's, I don't know, like regular life's boundaries, I guess, but also still because after college we both lived in the same place too, and it was kind of almost like a Utah bubble cocoon in the same way. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think I just always live in my own little bubble. I think I'm still doing that to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I don't think that I noticed that, but I do just kind of like live in my own little happy-go-lucky world. Like, I don't watch news. I leave that to my husband who watches like all the news outlets, and I'm just like, nope, don't want to hear about it.
Does he listen to my news show?
I don't know. Actually, I might have to kick him into that though.
I know, because it's a good one. And then he can give me pointers because he listens to all the other news outlets. He can tell me what I got wrong.
Deal. I'll let him know. Send me a link.
We just did, last week's episode was the year review because we've been doing the news segment for a year now. And so we just like went and like caught up on everything we went on for the last... Yeah, Paul's excited about it. You should listen to it.
The poor people in their volume when they're listening to this, they're just like, cover the speakers.
It's okay. I usually like people. I've figured out that like people love the background and ambiance of like real life. Because one of the like most favorite moments of like anybody who like will make a comment is my friend had like her kids were playing recorders in the background and she couldn't hear it, but I could. And then everybody on the show was like, that's my favorite episode.
Awesome. They're gonna love this then.
I know, that's what I'm saying. This is the
Paul
best kind of stuff. Because you can't.
Paul is always the favorite.
I know, because you can't make this stuff up with Paula.
Nope. Sure can't.
I guess, do you want to talk about how we came up with the idea of Paula in general?
I mean, you say that like I had any part of it.
It was you too.
So according to my memory, you feel free and tell me your version, but Paula makes noises and sometimes she has a lot of personality. And I think like literally what happened was you came up to me and said, your Tourette's just have so much personality. You should name them like Paula or something. And I said, okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm like, what role did I play in that? That was all you.
I mean, I feel like you came up with the after theory. Like I came up to you and I was like, we should name her Paula. And then like we kind of like had a conversation about it and you were like, you know what, she kind of is her own person. Right?
I don't remember that at all, but I'll take it.
Okay. I don't know. Because it like whenever I explain it to people, I feel like it sounds crazy, but I'm like, I have this friend, her name's Jessica, but she has Tourette's and her tics sound like a person. And sometimes will come out and talk to you. And so we call that Tourette's a person's name. And then she comes out more. I don't know. As you've learned more about Tourette's, how do you explain like our rudimentary theory of how it's like a person inside of you?
At this point, so I've written 4 nonfiction books, and they were all published before I got married, and my maiden name is Smith, and there's millions of Jessica Smiths, and so I decided that I couldn't publish under my own name, so I ended up publishing under Paula's name, and I extended her name to Paula Jean Ferry, so she's got a full name, which is a story in and of itself. But at this point, like, especially as an author and as I'm growing and expanding my audience and people see like my books on my table, and they'll see the Paula Jean Ferry and they'll see, 4 of those and then 1 J.S. Bear. And they're like, oh, so Paula. And I'm like, actually, my name is Jessica. So at this point, like, it's more introduced as a pen name. And then I tell the story that my pen name came from my alter ego. So, I mean, I don't know. At this point, Paula as a person has taken a back seat unless it's with my husband. She gets feisty with my husband.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
She will. She picks on him. Hilarious.
Well, I also think it's a good analogy too, because like when you first started writing, you were still coming into yourself as like an author too. And so 100%. Paula like helped you learn how to be extroverted. And then she helped you learn how to be extroverted on the page too. And now you are just J.S. Bear as your author name.
Right. And I do think if I ever like write another nonfiction, I do have a couple of nonfiction ideas that I would like to explore more. I think I will go back to Paula Jean Ferry. And at this point, because I started everything under Paula Jean Ferry, that's essentially the name of my publishing house, because I self-publish, but because the name of my business was Paula Jean Ferry, that's my, printing label, whatever you want to call it, but my printing house, publishing house. Yeah. So, she'll always be around, but she's definitely taken a little bit more of a backseat as of late now that I've finally figured out how to, life.
Yeah. I like that though. I think it's helpful to like illustrate your path.
Absolutely. She's been great about that. So, but if you want all of the, fun harassment stories, you'll have to have Eric come on the show and tell some stories.
I remember when you first started like rekindling your love is what I'm gonna call it. Like I remember she used to like come out and be like, "Ooh," like every time he would walk in the room.
Which is funny because I don't remember that happening until like much later. Well, I guess that was still before we rekindled and like met. But the very first time I did that one, I basically catcalled a complete stranger in Canada.
Tell me that.
So, I had this friend, her name's Rachel. She said, Jessica, do you have a passport? I'm like, yeah. Why? Well, Because me and these like 6 guys are going to Canada this weekend, and I can't do it alone. I need another girl there. Can you come with us to Canada? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. So and it really was just like a 3-4 day trip or something like that. It was super fast. We like drove as long as we could. We stopped in Montana for like 4 hours to sleep and then got back on the road. And we were staying, one of the guys in the group was from Canada, and so we made a stop at like his house before we were like touring other places or whatnot. But and at some point we went to a grocery store, but Rachel and I kept going to the grocery store with like 1 or 2 of the guys while a bunch of other guys stopped to talk to this guy on a motorcycle, because they just, awesome motorcycle, gotta stop and do the guy thing.
Yeah.
And so we're walking back with all of these groceries. They're finishing up talking to this guy. He like revs the engine. The guys start drooling and drives off. And Paula goes, woo, woo. And I'm like, I am so glad that was a loud motorcycle. Because everybody was just dying.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
It was hilarious. It was definitely a good time. So
I love Paula's stories.
Paula's a bit of a flirt. I did not have that skill. She taught me flirting too. I'm still very good at it, but
I liked my one of my like top 5 Paula stories is when we were at a party and we were all just standing around talking or whatever, and this
totally
dude, like Paula went off, and then this dude turns on and goes, "Is that your meeting call?" And without missing a beat, you were like, "Is it working?" And I was like,
No. He said, "'Cause it's working." Because all I did was like, okay. So yeah, is that your mating call? 'Cause it's working. And then someone's like, "No, she has Tourette's," and he got embarrassed and walked off. And I'm like, "No, but that was perfect."
But wait.
I'm like making the knees. Yes, also a top 5 story.
Yeah, top 5 story. I witnessed it.
That was a good one.
The number 1 story is though when the dude on the piano was being so cool, and then I was like, she can't, she has Tourette's, and then he felt so bad that he wrote you a song, and then I played the egg shaker in that song, and then we became famous for 5 minutes on YouTube or wherever that video was.
I think I would actually put that in my top 3.
Top 3?
Maybe even top 2. I don't know that it's my top story, but it's definitely like
Jessica,
2 or 3.
Jessica is cool as number 1 for me. But what's your number 1 then?
So my number 1, I was at a church function. We were doing a talent show that I was not participating in. I was just in the audience, but I was sitting in like the second row. And this wasn't just like our little group that we went to church with. This was like a stake-wide talent show. So like we filled that building. There was a ton of people. And the stake president's son was one of the 2 MCs. And the other girl who was MCing with him said, "So I hear you do a really great Kronk impersonation." And he's like, "Yeah, but I need you to make like the squeak noises first." I feel like you can already see where this is going. And so she's like, "No, I can't do that. Just do the impression. No, just do the impression." And then all of a sudden Paula goes, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." She does her squeaky thing, right? And his eyes get wide and he's like, "Great, we've got a volunteer." And he comes down, shoves the microphone in my face. And I'm too busy laughing to say anything. I'm just doing this. And like, so I was fairly well known in this stake, partially because I have Tourette syndrome. Like, it's hard to ignore, right? His dad, the stake president, knew exactly what was going on. Multiple of his friends knew what was going on. And every one of them was like, "No, Nate, no. Nate, no." Because Nate had no idea. So I finally catch my breath and tell him, "I can't do that. I have Tourette's." And you watch his face just like deadpan. He's like, "Oh." And he turns around, like, to walk back to the stage, and then he turns back around. Can I tell everyone what just happened? And I said, please do. So then he just told this super embarrassing story about himself to the entire state. And I think that's my top.
That's number one. That's so good.
That's my number one. That is my I still cry laughing about it. Oh.
That's too good.
And he never lived it down either. Like, the entire time
I'm
that
sure
both
he's
of us
still
were
thinking about that day.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
good.
anyways, he did have a really great Kronk impersonation though. Like, he nailed it.
Did he end up doing it? That is the important thing.
He did end up doing the Kronk impersonation. I think the other girl felt so bad for him that she's like, okay, I'll do the squeaks. But she would just say, like, squeak, squeak, squeak.
That's funny.
It was fantastic. It was a great day.
I love that story.
Yeah, that was, again, a top.
Yeah, number one story spot.
Yes.
Because it was somebody else doing the embarrassing thing, I feel like.
Maybe.
That's funny. I feel like there's like that TLC show that has
Bailing Out Loud.
Yeah. What are your feelings about like shows like that bringing more attention to the Tourette's world?
So I've never actually seen an episode. My husband and I don't have TLC. We don't really stream. Like, we watch DVDs and that's kind of it. We are so old school. Like, it's books and DVDs.
Love that.
This is what takes up most of our 2-bedroom apartment is books and movies. But I do absolutely love it. I love that she's making people more aware of it. So, like, when I first started with Tourette syndrome again in like the early 2010s, I would say, oh, I've got Tourette syndrome. Do you know what that is? And people would say no. And I'd have to explain Tourette syndrome is a neurological disorder that affects, my brain, and I do things that I can't control. But anymore, when I tell people I've got Tourette syndrome, like, I still ask, do you know what that is? People are like, oh yeah, like bailing out loud. Oh yeah. Like, they're much more aware of what's going on, which is awesome. Super happy for that, especially for people that aren't as comfortable talking about it, that are still introverted, that are still hiding, that are still, embarrassed by it in some way. It's wonderful that she's doing that. And it's funny as all get out. I actually had the receptionist at one of my doctor's offices. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I feel a tick right there, but it's not like actually coming up. There's just a lump right here. So you might see me trying to like move the lump. But it might affect my story as well. She's like, oh my gosh, you haven't watched this show. You need to at least watch this clip. And like, she had to like dig to find it. And she texted this clip to me later where how filtered is the show? Do I need to like censor anything at all? Okay.
No, you're fine.
So, and it is actually Balin from Bailing Out Loud with her sister. And like the producer asked a question about, how similar or unsimilar you two are. And Balin just says, Sammy has crabs. And Sammy says, no, I don't. Sammy has something else, like some other STD. No, I don't. Sammy has a vagina. I do. It's just funny. It's just,
yeah.
I love her sister for that.
Yeah. That's so funny. Maybe you should figure out a way to get in touch with the TLC people and send her a copy of your book.
I would love that. I do follow her on social media, but the problem with like big stars is like they get so many messages that they just generally don't check them or respond.
Yeah. So that's why you got to get in with the show people so that they can put it as a storyline on the show.
That would be fantastic. I would love that. So, and I am like slowly working my way towards that. I feel like I can only focus on one thing at a time. you know, sometimes common like co-diagnoses with Tourette syndrome is going to be ADD, ADHD, but also OCD. And I absolutely have like a touch of those. You know, where I will just hyperfixate, like, no, I have to do this. I cannot even consider anything else until this is done and done right. Sometimes I may lose interest. For a while, I was trying really hard to get a hold of like Reese Witherspoon to make my book in like Reese Witherspoon book club pick. And at some point that still is like a future option, but I'm not so like focused on it as I was. Because I did find a few other things and I'm like, ooh, I think I need to go down this rabbit hole. Ooh, I think I need to go down this rabbit hole. So it's not currently Reese Witherspoon, but Balin is probably like a future one as well.
I think it would be cool. Just because like your book is about like is I would almost say like a resource for people with Tourette's to like be seen.
I got this fantastic review today and she told me I could share it, so I'm going to also read it even though I've like shared it on my socials. Because like seriously, like this had me borderline in tears. So she left the review on Goodreads. She rated it 5 stars and said, I am an adult with Tourette syndrome. I follow this author on social media and have watched this book grow from its infancy. It is almost impossible to explain what it's like to have a condition like TS. However, this author does an exceptional job of doing so. There were so many times in the book where I just looked at the page and said, that's me. That's what it's like. Having that understanding and validation, just like MSOT, means everything. It means you're seen. This book needs to be in the hands of educators, law enforcement, corporate management. People need to know that disorders like this, or disorders in general, are not bad. They're just different, and different is good. Thank you, JS, for putting into words what so many in my community cannot say. I will be recommending this book to everyone. Like, aww. Right? I cried. It was a fantastic review.
I almost cried.
I know. Like, especially considering everybody with Tourette's has such a different experience. You know, especially where I've got a fairly mild case. I'm more vocal than physical. So I don't, you know, I have physical tics, but they're not quite as pronounced or as frustrating or, you know, I get that everybody has different experiences. So I was really nervous putting this book out because I put so much of my experience in there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to relate to other people with Tourette syndrome. But people like that, there was another woman actually from the UK with Tourette syndrome. She reached out to me. She's like, I love that you're writing this book. I want this story. I wanted it since I found out about her. And then that's how I found you. But her review was also just absolutely moving and tear-jerking and validating for me. Like, okay, maybe I can do this. I think I did an okay job.
Yeah, of course.
So
you always do great at everything you do. I don't know why you would even question that.
Well, like I said, just because everybody's experience is so different. Like, what if someone's experience is like, no, that's not how it is. Like, no, this is a bad representation. Like, just because it's not their story. But so far, I've been really lucky to have people like actually connect with the character and relate. And, you know, that's super key with being an author. Like, again, like the whole fiction curveball, like it is so much more involved. It is so much more personal in a lot of levels. Like there's so much of me in this woman. I mean, including, I don't know that I want to give the spoilers, but there's a pretty large scene. I even have a picture of it. I have like 6 illustrations in the book, but it was really hard to write because I'd had an experience like that, which I think does, again, uniquely qualify me to write this story in a way that others might not have been able to. But it was really hard to write. And people get mad at me all the time. You made me cry. Why did this have to happen? Well, because it literally, in reality, did to her and to me, you know? But, you know, I don't know that she would have grieved the same way. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. You know, that's part of where the fiction aspect comes in. But it was hard and it's very personal. So, you know,
Yeah.
It's hard to
It's
put
like having
yourself
your
out
diary
there,
out there, kind of.
basically.
Tell me about your illustrations.
So I wanted, in my research, I actually found images of this woman. And the first time I saw a picture of this woman after researching her for so long, I think by this point I was like 3 years in before I had seen a picture. I think my husband thought I was having a seizure because it was like a full body. Like I start crying. He's like, "What is happening? Are you okay?" He's so supportive. I love it. I was just, I couldn't believe I was actually looking at an actual like image of this woman. But I couldn't figure out if it was copyrighted or not. So I didn't know if I could use it. You know, and I actually did find like a couple. I found 2 images, one where she's older, one where she's younger. But I'm a small author. I cannot afford to be sued for like copyright infringement.
Fair.
And I couldn't find any details about it one way or the other for either of these. Oh, that felt good. That came out. Oh, that's been sitting there a hot minute. But because I wanted people to kind of have that same experience that I had in seeing what this woman looked like, I figured, well, if I sent these images to an artist and he did a rendering in his own style, that way we could, you know, kind of avoid the copyright. So I did commission, you know, at least I had 4 portraits done just because I wanted to see them and to use them for like a Kickstarter campaign. But I loved it so much that I'm like, you know what, I think we need to have like, I could only afford like 6 images. So I put like 6 of my favorite scenes, had illustrations for them.
I didn't realize that there were illustrations in the book until I started, because so recently my favorite thing to do is take pictures of things that my friends are selling because it's like it's so fun. So I convinced Jessica to send me a copy of her book, and so I took a bunch of pictures of it, and I started having the hand model that I was working with flip through the book, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's pictures. I didn't even know there was pictures.
6.
And so yeah, I had I known there was 6, I would have taken pictures of all of them, but I only thought there was 1.
Which is perfect because the one scene that you've taken a picture of is something that I have used in like recent social media posts because maybe I will just give the spoilers because it keeps like wanting to like talk about it, and I'm like, but I shared it in a social media post recently. I'm trying so hard not to give the spoilers.
Yeah,
but I want to talk about them.
Talk about the feelings.
It's hard without like understanding the context. Well, here I can. Okay, here if I can find
read parts of it.
I will show the picture.
Is it the one I took a picture of?
It is the one you took a picture of. So this is, you can kind of see it. That is the image that I shared. Obviously one with a lot of grief in it. And again, I had a similar experience to that and why she is grieving in that image. So, and the anniversary of that very grief-filled moment in time came up. And so I used that image to connect what I was feeling on this anniversary of grief and to talk about grief rather than just another selfie of me. And I use that on my social media. So I'm actually glad, like, if you only took one, like, that was a good one to take.
Good. I'm glad. I wish I had known about all 6 of them because I probably should have done some more flipping, but I would have taken pictures of them had I known they existed.
That's okay, because now they still get to be a surprise and we don't give like too much away.
Yeah, just the one spoiler.
Just the one spoiler. And even then, like, I think it did a pretty good job of talking around it without giving away the spoiler. Like, have you read it yet? Like, I know you have.
No, I have not read it because I read with my ears and not my eyeballs.
I need to work on that. That's something I have not yet endeavored to do as an author. So, because I don't want to record it myself, I want to give. Again, I've done everything that I could to like give this woman the best that I am capable of, and I'm not a voice actor. And I think an actual voice actor would do her more credit. If it was a nonfiction and me telling, my own stories, my own thoughts, maybe I would read it. But I want to actually hire a voice actor to do the audiobook. And then they'd have to also do like the production in like the studio and whatnot. So it's going to be an expensive endeavor for me because I'm not.
Unless you come visit your friend in Arkansas who has access to a free studio at the Fayetteville Public Library.
Ooh. So we actually have another friend that we went to college with who actually does do voice acting and has a recording studio. Her brother has the recording studio, I think. But we've talked about it, but we're also both history buffs, and she is restoring a historical home and teaching and has children. So it's hard for me to like get her to nail down a date.
Yeah, right.
Of like, listen, I need this done. So I might have to look in someone else, but that's one option.
It would be a free studio because your girl has a library card. Okay, so this brings up another question I had for you. I took the box that you sent me. I just like sent it straight back to you. Which did it come in the mail?
It did, yes.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure.
I do have it, yes.
So she sent me the book and some stuff to take pictures of, and then I sent it back to her. And then when I took it to the post office, the post office lady was like, I have never seen anyone use library mail. How did she get library mail?
Library mail?
Yeah, you had
Media mail.
Sent it to me in library mail.
I used media mail.
It was labeled as library mail.
I think I have the box. I'm pretty sure it was labeled media mail.
Well, the lady, she read it and she was like, I've never seen anyone who's not a librarian or a library use library mail. I don't know how she did this. And I was like, I don't know how she did it either. I know she lives in a really small town, so maybe they were like, this is the town author. We'll give her the library rate.
I mean, they do know me very well at the post office.
That was the story I made up in my head.
Well, so not only that, but my mom actually retired from the post office. I feel like I grew up in a post office.
Yeah.
But like, media mail is technically accessible to anybody. They just have to know to ask for it.
Well, she sent mine in media mail. She was like, actually media mail is cheaper, so I don't know why she paid library price. And I was like, I don't know either, but apparently you paid library price.
I paid media mail prices.
Well, I don't know. This is what the post office person was like going on and on about. And I was like, I don't know how. I just assumed it was because you live in a small town and you're the town author.
Like, again, growing up in a post office, like, I knew about media mail. I've actually never heard about media mail, so I don't know.
Or library mail?
Or yeah, that one. I've never heard of library mail, and I asked for media mail. They, I got media mail pricing. It said media mail when I shipped it, but I don't know.
Maybe they put an extra sticker on it you didn't know about.
Maybe. But I did not do that.
You'll have to do investigation.
Right? I'm going to have to talk to Kathy on Friday.
You're on first basis with the post office.
Oh, yeah. I stopped by today to send out another book. And she was telling me about this nightmare that she had last night about being on a plane when it was going down because of, like, the UPS plane that crashed.
Oh, no.
Like, Kathy and I, she knows me.
Of course she
It
does.
also has nothing to do with, the 6-week stint that I did actually attempt to work at this library, and that did not work out. But again, I thought I could do the job because I, essentially grew up in a library, but they were very, very different.
Every library is different. But I always, the library here is the coolest library I've ever been to.
Are we talking about libraries or post offices?
You were talking. You said you tried to work at the library.
I meant I did apply for a job, but I didn't get it. But I did work for 6 weeks at the post office, and I grew up in the post office.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sometimes my brain does that. I think as I get older, I'm getting like, I don't think it's dyslexia because I read fine, but I think I have lysdexia because I talk wrong.
They say that dyslexia isn't always like being able to read or having difficulties reading. It's also like just the way that you conceptualize ideas. Like the reason why you flip words is because you're looking at the whole page.
Interesting. I could see that.
And like, so you're like thinking of things from beginning to end. I don't know. I saw, who knows? I saw it on the internet, but
that means it's scientifically proven,
right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, so I always try and tell people that fact that I learned on the internet because I'm dyslexic and I know a lot of people are. I think it all is just tied in. Like, I feel like the more research we do on this, the more we're going to realize it's all the same thing. And it's just a different way of experiencing the world.
I feel like that's just common for diagnoses. I mean, when you have a diagnosis, you're going to experience the world different than if you didn't.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, even with Tourette syndrome, I mean, we're going to come back just because that's obviously what I know. Like, I experience the world differently, and as often, especially in education and especially like way back when, I'm not up to speed on like current school policies and procedures because I don't have children yet. But, hearing so many people say, stop being such a bad kid, stop being so disruptive. We're not disruptive. We're, and we don't always have the words to communicate it. We're just experiencing the world a little bit differently, and that was not understood. But the more that we understand, like putting a name to it, like a diagnosis, which again is why Madame is so important, the easier it is to recognize a way that we can work together better.
Yeah. And that's why your work is so important.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It's giving people a place to be seen.
So,
speaking of which, now seems like a good time to tell people where you can buy your book.
So, I have my book available anywhere books are sold. Like if you were to search my book on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, it's on Barnes & Noble. It's actually even on Walmart.com. It's not physically in stores yet, but if you go into any bookstore, even an indie bookstore, they should be able to get it. So wherever you prefer to buy books, unless it's thrift books, I don't know that it's there yet. Hopefully not, because those are reused books. Hopefully, I mean, it's only been on a couple of months. So hopefully it's not on thrift books yet. No, I'm going to have to go search that later. But, squirrel. But yeah, anywhere that books are sold, they're on my website, paulajeanferry.com. You can shop my books there. But again, anywhere books are sold, wherever you prefer to support.
And where do you want people to follow you at?
My handle on all of my platforms is Jess Squeaks. JESSSQUEAKS. That is on any social media that I have, which is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. Surprisingly, apparently a lot of people find books on Pinterest, so I'm on Pinterest now.
Nice.
more consistently. I've had a Pinterest for a long time, but I'm on it more consistently, like, because people apparently find books there. I had no idea. But anyways, social media. Just
Any
Squeaks.
social media, Just Squeaks.
Mhm.
Something else I forgot to tell you before we push record is after we push stop, you have to stay on because it uploads.
Got it.
And so don't just leave whenever I sign off. But anyway, whoops,
Noted.
forgot to tell you.
I mean, I could say you could probably have texted me, but I've been getting a ton of text messages that I just haven't been checking. So maybe you did.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's how Riverside works, just so everybody knows. And thanks for listening. And please go support Jessica's important work that she does about giving people with Tourette's a voice and telling the story of what's her name?
Ernestine. She goes by M commonly, but Ernestine Emily Prondra.
Aw. Okay, yes. And you can read all about it and go to the places where she said to go. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.